Don't listen to me. Don't take my advice. Don't do what I'm telling you to do. What? Hey, I'm Pam Duthie, and it's a great day to work on our Etsy shop with one small change every day for the month of August. And today I've got a bit of a different ranty one. And doesn't it sound a bit weird? Don't do what I'm telling you to do. So what am I actually on about here? Well, actually, basically, don't follow me. I'm not on the same path as you. Nobody is. All the big experts on the field, they don't have the same shop as you, so don't just blindly follow what we're saying. So the reason I thought to make this video, to have this little chat with you today, has been a couple of things I've seen over the past week or so. And one of them was, I got up in the morning and I checked the groups, and there was people moaning about Etsy, as they always do. And some people were making some comments about things that have changed. Someone mentioned about renewing listings as a way to get a little boost in the rankings, and someone else immediately came on and said, no, that doesn't work anymore. No longer can you renew your listings to get a boost in the rankings. And this is kind of a problem, because if anyone says anything with enough sounding authority, then other people will follow them. Even me, when I read that, I thought, oh, has there been a change? But the thing that I did, and the thing that you should do when you hear any advice, whether it sounds good or bad or confusing or indifferent, experiment. Do science. So what is science? How do we scientifically experiment? Actually, quite a few people are confused about this, but it's really, really simple. You have an idea of something, and then so you make this hypothesis. So in this case, it no longer works to renew listings to get them a boost in the ranking. So that was my hypothesis. This doesn't work anymore. So how could I test this? By renewing a listing and seeing if it affected the rank. So tracking the ranking over time. If it made no difference anymore, then if I relisted an item, then I would see no change or a negative change. So I picked a search term bookmark, because I have quite a few bookmarks in my shop. The actual term bookmark is obviously quite competitive to rank for. I searched in the UK only just because I thought I had a slight more chance of ranking anything for that, because my shop's in the UK, so we get a little boost for that. And I searched in Etsy Rank for bookmark, and to my surprise, actually I had one listing up on page 1. Now I'll talk about this later, and I've spoke about keyword stuffing in the past, and you'll see this listing actually only has in the title the one word bookmark. This is an experiment in not keyword stuffing. This is an experiment in minimalistness. So out of all my bookmarks, there's only one ranking anywhere for just the term bookmark, and it's the one just with one word. So we'll come back to that in another video. But so it's ranking on page 5 in the search, and so I did absolutely nothing else on the listing. I just renewed that listing, and I came back to it in regular intervals. I came back and had a wee look at that listing, and I found within half an hour that listing was ranking position 5 on page number 1, and it's still up there 2 hours later, 3 hours later. It's dropping slightly down. It's still on page 1. It's dropping down the rankings. It went from 5 to 11 to 13, but relisting that item did boost the rankings. So there's one thing, not to just blindly follow what people are telling you. Experiment in your own shop. I mean, that experiment cost me 20 cents. I expected to have to do a few more relistings than just the one to find out what was happening. But for that quick experiment, it cost me 20 cents, and I figured that, yeah, if I relist things, it does improve things. So that person was speaking rubbish. Another thing that made me think of this was I've been watching some popular YouTubers giving Etsy tips and advice, and these people have really big, popular, successful shops, and I was watching a few people giving advice, and they were talking about picking keywords, and they were talking about picking really high competition engagement keywords, and I was just watching thinking, whoa! Now this is great advice for them. They have big popular shops and they can rank for these huge terms, but giving advice for people who are just starting out, this is probably terrible advice for some people, because quite simply they haven't got a hope of competing with the big shops if they just aim for these really high competition keywords. So I thought to myself, well, yes, this advice is great advice for them. This is what works in their shop, but it's not necessarily what works in your shop. So what you want to do is not just copy wholesale, not just follow one person, do exactly what they tell you to, and then wonder why it doesn't work. Their shop's different from you, their journey's different from you, their items are different from you, their customers are different from you, their history's different from you. If someone has a following on a different place and opens a shop on Etsy, like for instance, Threadbanger just opened a shop. Now, they're unlikely to make any sales. And I don't think they want to make any sales because they've put 2 listings up at a crazy price. It was a bit of a joke. But their listings are going to get lots of views. Their listings are likely to rank straight away because they're coming from YouTube with a massive audience that are just going to go along and have a look anyway. So what worked for them, how they started their shop, is going to be different to how you're going to start your shop. So don't follow me. Don't follow anybody else. Listen to what we have to say and treat it as an experiment. Trial it in your shop. Do something. Leave it a few days, a few weeks to get some stats on it, do some science on it, and then check and see if what we're saying works. If it works for you. So don't follow me. Don't do exactly what I'm telling you to do. Don't think that if you do exactly what someone who's bigger than you tells you to do, you'll end up where they are. All our journeys are different. Okay, so I hope that helped you. Don't forget, we're doing 1 tip every single day for the month of August. So if that interests you, don't forget, come back next time. I'll see you later.